All right, my lovers. Okay, so this thought dropped in. I caught some interview with Gabor Mate, and then this thought come in about like how everyone is super valid, and the thought form that inspired me to go live was there's plenty of good people doing good things. And then I almost titled this as good people. And then I thought, no, take the good out, just people. And what is life? What are any of us doing here? And I think the revelatory beauty of witnessing someone like Gabor Mate and many others speak is that intuitive empathic awareness already knows the truth of that speaking, that medical, and there's a validation, although none of us in truth ought to be seeking that external validation. However, at the same time, that external modern medical mechanistic validation is valuable to I suppose reflect back to us or encourage us to keep going in as far as continuing to process the densities. So in the book that I wrote called The Fearless Life Guide, it's my own intuitive explanation, I guess. And the way I come to it was just very intuitive from an earnest desire to heal certain aspects of self. And essentially, the Fearless Life Guide is just about processing our emotions. And my experience is that we don't have, in our sort of cookie cutter, externally driven, superficial worldview, it's difficult to quantify the depth of distortion and separation in the cellular body. And another way to express that would be to intellectualize and in a logical way understand ancestral trauma and how that shows up here and now in the physical body that we are, and how we carry, the codes, the information of our ancestry, and we repeat the cycles until we bring them to the light of consciousness, which to me has a lot to do with purging those emotional densities, which I speak to in the book. As in, when you have the discipline to be present enough, when you're triggered, to hold space for the wave and then the storms, you can often witness your own past lives. You can often witness the karmic past life entanglements that you've had with parents, lovers, friends, etc., which helps you, I would say, to simply integrate. People call shadow work integrative work, because you're integrating the aspects of self you have forgotten or lost, which is I would say kind of part and parcel of the program, in as far as if we lose enough of ourselves, then we're easy to control, right? So if you're wanting to control everybody, traumatize them, multi-generationally, and then keep programming them through media and various things. I mean, as far as the conspiratorial narratives go, who's to say anymore? I endeavor to not really listen to much outside of self anyway. I binge on Astro because it's like my new what's the word, like field of study. I get nerdy about things, and then I have a probably small handful of astrologers that I read and listen to. What was the other thing? Editing. I want to get really good at editing now. And there was one other thing. I was speaking to my mother about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I could definitely get into studying breath work. OMG. I started guiding breathwork sessions, and I've done 3 now, and I think I'm amazed at how much people love them. And then it made me realize, like, I'm really well versed when it comes to speaking yoga but speaking to the philosophical and obviously some of the metaphysical or just the physical benefits, meditation as well, because like yoga meditation I've been, and then obviously breath work within yogic tradition, but like the breath master breath work stuff is like next level. Hala Shazam, light up your body, clear the densities, like powerful shift. And so people are really, really enjoying the breath work. And I realize like I want to learn more. I want to study the science, and I want to, really know my Shazam, because when people are like, where are my fingers? Where is this? Where is this? This is, you're like, I don't know. I don't have answers for you, but I can probably source them. So, breath work. What was the purpose of this share? Nobody knows. Nobody really knows the purpose of life, do we? I don't know. It's nice to just be able to have an open space to dialogue and to share. And that's kind of how this channel developed, was me being like, what up, lovers? I've got some insights, want to hear it? And then also I'm trying to heal myself, want to witness it? And then like embarrassed, but it's okay, let's keep going. These are tools. So yoga, breath work, meditation, tarot, crystals, they're tools. Nothing is probably quite as awesome as just having really, really loving good people in our lives. But most of us, again, I would say generationally, that's still pretty rare, because our humanity's been ripped apart by endless wars and famine and drought and this economy, which really does inherently usurp the power of our species, right? Through unconscious bonding, really, bonding our life force to that reserve of energy. So there's a huge sort of shift in our awareness to reclaim our inherent sovereignty and power through the will of our own grace and godly love. And then to see like, how do we move forward? And like, I show up on these shares simply because I want to. I live a very simple life in the countryside, and even living in this so-called simplicity requires, balance and income and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm aware of the challenge of just, making ends meet. And I think that's often my big bone to pick about all of these new, and I'm so pleased, of course, to be hearing more and more people speaking about the depth and profundity of healing the emotional body, and how absolutely paramount that is in order to be able to perceive more clearly and perceive more holistically, lovingly, obviously. And yet something that just like, it still gets to me is like just the economic disparity and imbalance, and then also just like the mainstream stronghold on like, these are the same voices that we're hearing over and over again, the same people. And I'm curious about that, and I see it as good, and it's very personal, I guess, as far as like the journey that I'm living, for whatever reason I'm living it. And I'm trying to like discern what's the real issue, MJ, then, like if it's just you and it's not that. And I'm like, well, I guess it's the fact that there's such a gap sometimes between like people with hundreds of thousands of followers on a podcast, or people like Gabor Mate, who's like a high level physician, where, and again, we can all express a certain amount of gratitude, and yet I'm aware that these are sort of privileged classes. So being a medical doctor is like being praised in the world and society, and yet there's people in our culture that are incredibly wise with just the same answers, but we don't listen to them because they're like Native American, or because, and that's not, I'm generalizing and I'm making a wide sweeping statement that isn't necessarily true, because I see the change and I recognize that we are becoming more enlightened and opening our hearts to listen. Or like just my own grind, but like, listening, someone like Marianne Williamson has probably been speaking to a lot of the same things, but of course she's not a man and she's not a doctor, so people don't listen in the same way. And I speak to that simply to encourage more of us to speak up, maybe, like unashamedly. And oh yeah, I had a funny, because I'm still on the whole vlog station vibration, endeavoring to make vlogs on my phone. Editing is long-winded and irritation vibration, but what did I had a thought about that, and I didn't bloody write it. You never do that, lying down and be like, whoa, this is such a cool thought, should I write it down? No, I'll remember it. No, you never do. You never do. Something about what I wanted to rant on in the vlog, and now it's completely escaping me, but maybe one day I'll remember it. And I think it was more about just sharing here unapologetically and being like, what am I afraid of? Like, yeah, I'm remembering, you guys. I'm remembering. It was like me spinning that vlog of like, what are any of us really doing, and how much like golden juice is within us, of like just being able to share what we really feel and share what we're really thinking, and without being condemned, without being judged, without being exiled, right? Most of us yearn and crave for connectivity and belonging. And instead, we have to deny that wound and just step in line and fit in. And that fitting in is just so soul destroying, and then how to excavate the authentic truth of our own soul and shine that in unity and service for the whole. It's like, what is this? What are any of us doing? Nobody really knows, but approaching it with love, compassion, and empathy, even if my own life can't stand as an example, the will as I carry on, I'm sure will at least continue to hold my own beingness, right? After a lot of turbulence, instability, and what I now know is like a severely dysregulated nervous system. Because when you don't have roots and when you don't have good people around you to really lift you up, even when you're super powerful, you can rise up, but then come crashing down because your roots are calling you. Again, most of us are here for earth. Like, we're not here to like assuage one another's egos and like to big each other up. In my humble opinion, we're actually here in our own relationship with earth energy, cosmic energy. We're here in service to our own evolution, in unity with this earth realm. It's not in separation. It's certainly not in dominion, right? We're not here to like control the earth. And again, it's through being in that service to earth that any of those weird dark forces or people that are like destroying earth, or people that are doing shady things on earth pretending they're not, you're like, guys, stop doing that. It's like, guys, stop trying to control people's minds. It's like clever, it's just not very loving. I don't know, what you do with this what you will. I love you very much. I hope that you all have a juicy golden vibrational hala 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 kind of day. Oh, FYI, massive thank you to the Patreons. I'm like, yeah, really thankful for you guys. And obviously I'm doing this one live, but I'll be probably sometime this weekend getting our weekly readings out. Patreons get first access, ad-free, and these sorts of shares, but they'll get them usually first, except when I randomly go balls out and decide to just do a live time, baby. Although I noticed as well, you can't comment. I'm not sure why. I must change the settings or not. Lots of things you just stop caring about as you get older. So I wish all of you some mega heart love vibratory, And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, grand rising to all of you. I hope that you are magic, because you are. Just celebrate your own magic. And, straight up, go easy on yourself. Like I went out for the first time on Thursday, hadn't been out all week. You sleep a lot. It's not that special. It's not that glamorous, even though these social images that we all put out there, I do it too. It's like, oh my God, look at them. And except really behind the scenes, we're all just wanting to be as lazy as possible. Let's be real, humans, okay? That's probably not true, but I like my bed. Anyway, I'm talking just pure gack for all of your airwaves, but I appreciate you. I love you. If you haven't already and you're still here watching me talk, then please like and subscribe and do all that. I probably am one of the longest standing, slowest growing YouTube channels that there ever existed. And I'm still here and I'm still posting. But once a year, my channel goes up once. I'm joking, but it's kind of like that. So if you do like the content, or if you feel like helping a sister out, you could use some more subscribers, because this is my brand, guided by my heart, make the world a little more love and plies. Then like it and pass it on and get your friends to like it. Grow the movement. Would you like the world to be more